Greetings. Today I had the opportunity to visit a gentleman who lives fairly nearby, who has one of the most incredible radio collections, particularly the Majestic radios, and I'm going to take you on a little tour. It's a change of pace from guitar amplifiers, but I hope you enjoy it. Say 1934 Gruno. Another 1934 Gruno polished aluminum grill. Beautiful shape. And by George, another 1934 Gruno with a different grill style. (1934 Gruno) Model 450. 1934 Gruno Model 450. Different color case. You can see the similarities in the grill, but case is quite different. Here's just a little niche here at the house with a bunch of radios on display. Neat old telephone. Wish I could identify each of these. Oh, look at that. Nice Art Deco cabinet style. Real traditional cathedral radio. Early 1920s. Look at this, a 1930, I guess it's pronounced Grebe. It's a weird little clock radio. The clock dial certainly doesn't look all that old. Interesting tombstone radio. Some old bake lights. Oh, this is beautiful. 1937 Zenith Model 6D 116 table radio. Beautiful condition. Sitting on top of an old Majestic console. Here's a whole wall full of shelves containing old radios. Beautiful. Tubes. Ah, beautiful Art Deco grill. Great old microphone. Some nippers. Oh my Lord, Macintosh. Stereo where you have to have a separate amplifier for each channel. Beautiful. More stereo equipment. Beautiful lyric console. Great looking calendar clock. Here's a gorgeous 1934 GG Majestic Model 59 Studio radio. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful grill.
David?
1938 Zenith Model 15U269.
I did that one.
Something to do with the impedance match.
Yeah. Oh, that was a basket.
Okay, here we have a 1937 Cadet. What a beautiful cabinet. Looks like it's missing one of the little silhouettes here. Here's a 1933 Majestic Cathedral and a 1931 Majestic Cathedral radio. A Zenith 6, you back up here, 6S128 radio, beautiful finish. Oh, a little Edison Ambarola, a 1934 Majestic radio, very stylish with that chrome Art Deco grille, just beautiful. These are hard to find. Here, look, this is a Majestic treasure chest radio in really good original condition, and here's one that looks like it's been stripped. I guess it will get stained and refinished. Let's see, 33 Majestic Model 49B Duo Chief, Majestic 194 Cathedral radio. Here's a 1934 Majestic Model 413. Another little Majestic radio, a Zephyr Bakelite. Looks like there's two of them in two different colors. And here we have 1942 Zenith Model, oh, what's that, 6S632 table radio with the push buttons. 1932 Majestic Sheffield. It's hard to get down here. The older I get, the harder it gets. Okay, 1932 Majestic Sheffield, and here's a 1934 Majestic Smart Set radio. And here's another Cadet Jewel. Beautiful little cabinets. Here's a whole bunch of Bakelite radios. These are little, tiny little rascals, little squares, little, actually cubes. This is one I've seen before with a wraparound Art Deco grill. Here's similar one and a different color, and two more of the little cube radios. This is interesting. It looks like a grandfather clock with a radio built into the center. Pretty good size. I'd say about 5'8" or so tall. Let's see what it says here about it. 1932 GG Majestic Model 20 grandfather clock radio. Really slick. So you can tell what time it is. Sort of like the oldest possible clock radio. Okay? Electric clock. It'd really be ancient if it had a pendulum clock. Okay, I'm in a hallway here, so I really can't get back from this thing far enough to get it all in at once, but look at the carving on this. I don't know if that's an extra speaker or what down there, but my God, very ornately carved. And inside it's a 1929 Spartan Model 301 Equison. Okay, I gotta tell you, I haven't seen a whole lot of these. Very nice. Close it up and it looks like a nice piece of furniture. Beautiful. Okay, here's a Majestic Riviera, and it's got these really neat strips on the front, and it's got shelves on the side. So it's like a piece of furniture that has a radio in it. And here's a Majestic called a Ritz. Similar, really fancy front on it. I don't see any shelving or anything like that. Here's a Majestic Stratford. As you can tell, this person's kind of partial to Majestic radios. Big console. And here's a Majestic Model 164 console. I apologize that I can't get back and get good clear shots on these, but I'm in a hallway and I can't back up. Okay, and then over here we've got a 1932 Majestic Model 15B. Missing a little bit of trim, but I guess just in really good original condition. And here's a Model 91. Very nice. I believe this one came from me, to be honest with you. I think I sold this to him a few years ago. Still looks good. Here's one of my favorite items. It's a backlit glass advertisement for Majestic radios. That's back in the old days when advertising was actually worth paying attention to. Beautiful. There's a Majestic Hyde Park console from 1933. Can't believe Majestic made so many radios in 1933 and 34. They must have been pretty busy. Must have been working around the clock. Here's a nice display, 1927 Majestic Model 71 with a really nice backlit advertising piece on top. Really snazzy. And then here is a 1934 Majestic Model 776 Lido. You gotta love these knobs, square knobs. Really something. Now this is really spectacular. This is a gold-plated grebe, but check this speaker horn out. It's transparent, sort of like tortoiseshell. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's beautiful. It's amazing these things have lasted so long. You'd think if you knocked that over, it'd be long gone. Oh, and a little butterfly has landed on it. Who can blame it? Anyway, that grebe is really something. Okay, here's a really incredible radio, a 1936 McMurdo silver masterpiece. Some crazy antenna on top, but look at this. The whole body of the radio is chrome plated with a very elaborate multicolored dial. I'm not sure because of the kind of diminished lighting here if that's going to come through real clear. Speaking of fancy, here's a E.H. Scott radio. Look at the hand carving on this. What a magnificent cabinet. All of this is hand carved. To hold the radio, we'll slide the doors open. 1932 E.H. Scott all-wave deluxe radio. Looks like the ignition switch in an old Model T Ford. Look at that. Really beautiful. Once again, it's hard for me to back up enough to get a good overall view, but I think you get the idea. I mean, this is as fancy as it gets. Now, here's a absolutely gorgeous old Spartan sled Model 557 radio. Now, believe it or not, I restored this. This was my radio back probably 30 years ago. I restored it, and this gentleman ended up with it. Now I wish I'd kept it. Beautiful radio, beautifully designed. Look at that. Speaking of, just talk about Art Deco, it just reeks of it. 1936. This will probably be hard to see in this low light, but here's a hanging display of old capacitors. I never would have thought of that. It's like a shadow box full of old waxy capacitors. You've got to really be an electronics freak to enjoy stuff like this, and I do. No Majestic collection could be complete without the famous Charlie McCarthy radio. And I guess the only thing that you could ask for besides one in black is to also have one in white. Okay. Beautiful radio, not terribly common, and real unusual to see it in two different colors. Here's a Majestic radio built into a ship, a sailing ship, with nice chrome sails. Here's a ring that Majestic dealers, I guess, would get for exceeding their sales quotas. A couple little Majestic banks. Really nice. I thought this was really cute. It's a real early 1924 RCA radiola, but I guess vacuum tubes were new and exciting to people, so they actually have them protruding out the front of the radio where you could see them. I think that would be really nice. Of course, if anybody touched them and got burned, they'd probably sue you nowadays, but I thought that was really quite an interesting radio. Some more great advertising. With all the radios this guy has, he probably could be a Majestic radio dealer. Okay, just beautiful stuff. Well, that's about it. I barely scratched the surface here. There's probably another 50 or 60 radios that I haven't shown you, but it's about all that I could fit in one video. But I'd have to say that this gentleman has probably one of the better Majestic radio collections that you will ever see. Just beautiful stuff. I hope you enjoy seeing it. Thanks for watching.